We're in the Sifra D'tzniuta, and we're starting this new piece. We're on page Kuf Kaf Gimel. This rhymes with the piece that we saw in the back. It says, let's read the blurb first. Achashasim levayer inyan zayin tikuni gugol to the erikanpin. So now we saw them. Yivor ata ki zayin tikunim elu nirmazim b'shevet table shal pasuk orishon bereshis bara etc. So he says that these are 7 words. V'yivar tevas bereshis hu tikun rishon gulgolta. So the first one, he says that the word bereshis is itself the skull, or the top. Shekolavo as shar shisha tikunim, that within this are all the other 6 tikunim. Yivor od sheshevet tikunim elu heim lamata. 1 second. Let's put this on. Get this right. Okay, so let's go back to, he says, sheshevet tikunim elu heim lamata begugolta the zeranpin. They're down below in the forehead, in the skull is zeranpin. So the two go together. And then there's a process that they ultimately wind up, I guess, the shefa that's within them in the beard. Let's see what they say over here in the Pirush Rahut. So Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'es haaretz. Hinei b'pasuk zeh yesh sheva tevos. Keneged sheva tikuni gegolta sheniz bara le'el. So each one of the sheva gegolta has apparently a word from the beginning of the Torah. And Mivar Shita, that is 6, Shisha tevos elu, which is baro Elokim es hashamayim v'es haaretz. Those 6 words. Hem keneged shisha tikuni gegolta achronim shehem aleph. The first one is Tala the Badolcha, and then the next one going over them is Kruma da Ravira Amranaki. Then it says Rava the Ravim. Moving on, he says number Hey is Ashgocha Bekicha. Number Vav is Nukvin de Bardashka. Those are the 6. Then it says Bereshis v'teva harishon de Bereshis, who connected the tikun the rishon gugolta. So the word itself, the first word, really refers to the gugolta. Shechol l'malo min shar shisha tikuni gugolta chaniskarim, which is up above the other 6. Barashis then says it also could be made into the word created 6. The lechein teva Bereshis nechloch is divided. The Shnei Tevos Kach, Barashis. What does Barashis mean? Pirusha Shetikan Arishon Anikra Gugolta, Barava Etzel as Shisha Hatikunim in his current. So it's the first one is actually involved, and he says that it creates them. So he says, Alaihu Ketikun Arishon Gugolta hu Alehem, it's up above them, the Mala, the Shar Shisha Tikunim, Ki Kulam Nimshachu V'Nispashta Mikochu. So all of them come out and spread into their positions from the power of the first one. For Inyan who ki chesed shall resha de lo isya, the eyes like this. In the resha de lo is, from the resha de lo isya, this is where this chesed comes from. So said it wrong. Ki chesed shall resha lo isya, the mislavish begugolta is clothed in the gugolta, but chesed zechet nechlalim shar shisha tikunim. This one includes within it all the other 6. Amina chesed zechet nimshachin mispashtim oros chesed el shar shisha tikunim. So this light of this chesed, which is the first one, then spreads from there into the other 6. The Nimsaki Tevis Bereshis who tikun the Rishon Golgolta. So the word Bereshis, which is the first one, once again refers to the first of the 6. Who ma'alehem, it's from up above them. Shal shar shisha tevos of the other 6 words. Shehem shar shisha tikunim. Ki or ha-chesed shel the gogolas kolel as kulam. So this is the concept that the first one contains all the rest. Od kuhu lusata, and we say furthermore, kula lusata, ki kol ela rashevet tikuni gegolda she'amarnu, heim lamata b'zer anpin, they also represent zer anpin. Ki gam zer anpin nishlan b'shevet tikuni gegolda, because he also has shevet tikuni gegolda. Vatalian b'shevet gegolda, so that they pertain to, they depend, or they're rooted in the Sheva de Gugolda. So I'm going to start saying this word Talian. I'm going to try out the word rooted. I think it sounds better in English. The Sheva de Kunig, huh? Okay?
That's good.
The Sheva de Kunig Gugolda. So the 7 Tikkunim de Gugolda, Tachtonim shall zer anpin, Tuluyim bekoil Sheva de Kunig Gugolda al yonim. They're really rooted in the upper 7 up above, shall Erik anpin. Ki or ha-chesed the reish de lo isyida, ha-mislavish be-begolta, mispashe be-shevet tikuni gegolta, and then it spuds into the gegolta. Nimshuk al yedei erik anpin, it really is extended out, or it flows out, that's better, I think, from the, through erik anpin, lamata, down below. So we're talking about Atik really uses erik anpin as a way of screening its light and bringing it downwards. Morish is the zer anpin, and ultimately it gets inherited by zer anpin. Umeir b'shevet tikuni gegolda shel rosh zer anpin, and it shines in the 7 tikunim of the head of zer anpin. V'amar od, he says furthermore. Now we have this word which I've been struggling with a little bit. Od yikira the yakirusa, od the preciousness. I'm using that word. I'm not the right word. It's the glory of glories. Yakiru the Yakirusa ki ora shel sheva tikuni gegolta, because the lights of the 7 tikuni gegolta nimshachan mispashan ad dikna, ultimately they spread out and they shine into the dikna shuhu yakar should be yakarim, and the dikna, he says, is called by this phrase, the most glorious of glorious. Let's try that one. By Inyan who the Inyan is like this: ki gogolas nechlalos im mochos limo, because the skull is incorporated with the Mochas Dima, and for the power of this incorporation, El Mochas Dima, so ultimately they wind up in the Mochas Dima, and Mochas Dima Nimshachan Mispajnim Oros Hashevet Tikuni Gegolta El Adikna De'erik Anpin. Okay, so that's our piece, and I sort of like went to number Pei Hey. Try that one. So look, let's just read down a little bit. Where is Pei Vav? Pei Dalad rather. I'm looking for it. Pei Hey, I see it. I'm sorry.
Barashis is Pei Dalad.
Barashis. So it says Barashis. Now we'll read down over here till we get to Pei Hey. Created 6. V'lechein tevet bereishis nechlach l'shnei tevus kach bara shis pirusha shetikan the rishon l'nikru gugalas bara it. So it says it itself does the creation process. How so? Ve'etzel, and causes to come out from it as shis, as the shisha tikun is in the karim halayhu. So then it says halayhu ki tikun the rishon gugalas who aleihem the mala the shar shisha tikunim ki kulam nimshul v'nispashtim b'kochel. V'inyan hu ki, why? What's the koach? So he answers. He says the koach is his chesed shal reish lo isyada, which is mislavish in the Gugolta. It's interesting that this dovetails a little bit what we learned in the morning. Uv'chesed zu nechlalim shar shisha tikunim, and this chesed, all the rest of the 6 are incorporated in it. V'min ha-chesed ezechad nimshachan mispashim oras ha-chesed el shar shisha tikunim. Now we're going to go to number Pei Hey, and I just want to mention to you what he's about to say is think about you're born in Rosh Chodesh. So I think it's possible you might be able to say that in the Rosh Chodesh is included all the rest of the days of the Chodesh. So we come now from the first day of Rosh Chodesh here, is Av, which is the beginning of the time of repentance or mourning, I guess that's the right thing to say. But then it changes. It changes over today to a time of joy. So that's all in the first, if that's true. So let's look at number 85 and see what he says. Rebbe Mabusharim, there's Mabusharim in some places full of all kinds of great stuff. Vizel L'Shoda V'daki Inyan Ha'arazu. The idea of this radiance, let me get back over here, Arazu, Azu He, Kanoida Ki HaChesed Nikra Yomam. It's also called Yom Kuhu. Sheyesh Bechel L'Klal is called the Zion Tikunim, so because it has within it the whole seven. V'lechein Zeh HaChesed D'Atik on the Elam Gugalta, which is hidden, Bego Gugalta, inside of the head. So let me say, in other words, inside of the skull. Nispashto B'menach B'Sheva Ora Shal Zion Tikunim Gugalta on the Kesser. So we're talking about Atik, and from the Chesed of Atik, all the seven come out. Ki kol eila Hashevet Tikuni Gegalto, heim bebechinas a Kesser Atzma, because they're all aspects of Kesser. Asher bebo haChesed the Atik, which has what's inside of it, this radiating energy of the Chesed. Those are my words, of course, of the Chesed of Atik. Ein Sham. V'chein rei b'shar ma'amari Rashbi. So look over there too. V'zel d'shonda v'hinei kevin shekol elo hein tikuni Gegalto d'arich. Since all of these represents the tikunim of the Gegolta of the Rich, Asher Babal Ne'elam and the Slavish Chesed Atik Yom, and going back over this again, Sarshi is Pashe Ora Bakulim, so then that light actually has to spread into all of them. That's the concept of Yom Shekulo. Vaz Mispashlim Shiva Oris Min Chesed Hazed the Atik Yom, and B'Shiva Tikuni Gegolta de Erikanpin. So then this is this pattern. So we're going to see over this. He says in Bashar Ram Mamari Rashbi, but Pashas Truma. Let's go over here, get it lined up here. He says, HaChesed Nikra Yomam, which is some kind of a plural, Yoma de Guhu, Yom that has everything in it. The Fisha Kolu called the Sheva Yomin because it has within it all the 7 days of Bavorki. Etzem Chesed the Atik Yomin Ne'elam Eslave Begolta Lamala. V'achakach Mispashtim Sheva Oras Min Chesed Ezera B'Shar Sheva Tikuni Gegolta. Then it spread. So he had said that the first one, which is the Gegolta, which has this, it creates the others. Which interesting phrase. V'chein rei be'etz chaim, overlook over there, Ein Sham, but his bar inyan zel the ale, he said, what? Ein Sham, ba 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 ba. V'rei be'or be'otza be'urim, he says Ein Sham, so we obviously have an otza be'urim coming up. So I think the next one that I'm going to do is going to be Pei Zayin. So let's read from over there, and Pei Hey, it says, V'nimsa, ki tevis bereshis, Shuhu Tikun Arishon Gugolta, which is the first Tikun, Hu Ma'alechem Shal Shar Shisha Tevos, Shehem Shar Shisha Tikunim, Ki Or HaChesed Shal Gugolas, Shal Gugolta Kolo as Kulam, that one light has all of them within it. Before Od Kuchel Lasato, so he says, not only that, but everything that's down below too. You call Eila Hasheva Tikuni Gugolta Shamarnu, Haim the Mata Bezer Anpin, they're also in Zer Anpin. Gigam Zer Anpin, Nishlam B'Shevet Tikuni Gegalta also has 7 Tikunim in his Gegalta, Battalion, and they're all rooted B'Shevet Gegalta, or in the 7 of the skull, B'Shevet Tikuni Gegalta. Now we're over here on number Pei Zayin. Let's see if we can get anything out of this. And he says like this, so that the 7 of the skull. V'vorki kol shar hatikunim kagon tala de bedolcha mitzchan etc. Kulim nekroim al shem tika the rusha shugolta. So all of them are really, he says, called after or named after the first one, which is the Gugolta. V'regam b'shar ma'amavi rashbi. And I'm not sure what that meant. I know he used the word named. Amar, so he says, Amar Batalin Sheva de Gogolta, so they really are rooted in the Sheva de Gogolta, ad Yakira de Kirusa, until you get to the beard, called the Yakira de Kirusa. Harisha Amar ki Tikuni Resha Hazu, Sheva. He said, okay, so different quotes, there's 7 of them. V'inyan is bara b'mabsharim, so let's explain it. He says, Gugolta hu mispashit b'reisha atzma. So the Gugolta itself spreads b'reisha, into the head. Ki ha-Gugolta hu dmus makif hasovev al harosh v'haponim. Because this is the concept of the makif. So he's saying really what the keser is like. The keser is a makif. He said that earlier. The Tiv said that. Call the rosh upon him, I guess it's true. To call the tikkunim v'shecha bechem heim tikkunim gugolta. So then all of the rest of them, this is what he means by they're all called by its name, because all of the rest of them are the 7 of the tikkunim gugolta. You can't say so. You know that one of them, Amarnaki, say for example, is going to be just an Amarnaki, but it's an Amarnaki that comes from the gugolta. Ak hamocha, the mocha which is inside. Shehi tachas a gugolta, which is underneath the gugolta. Gam shehi pinimis semeda besocho, so that it's the fact is that it's pinimi, it's inside, it stands within it. Eno magala as tikunacha b'macha gugolos. I think he means to say that what's going on in the mochas timah is not represented by the 7 tikunim. In other words, it's not part of the 7, it's something else. I think that's what it means. Because all of those 7 are part of the makif system of the Gugolta, and this is inside of the Gugolta. So he's over there. Kol zayin tikunim ele begugolta de erekanpen b'zayin delay. So they all come, the tikkunim all come with, I don't know, it's Zion tikkunim, the Gugolta, the Erik Anpin, the Zion delay. They're in his 7 tikkunim, he called Zion Elo, the Gugolta, Heim Nim Shachem, Mitzad the Gugolta, Shuhu HaKaser, Shuhu Tomid, Shuhu Komid, Kamo Koteres, Makif es Amoach. So he wants to say that the Moach is apart from this, and the Keser are surrounding it. So I'm just wondering, so it's a surrounding it, it's shining into it, not sure what it means. So it's a Zohar over there, is bar ba'urim. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So that was number Pei Zayin. So now after Pei Zayin, it says, so it had said, the black print, V'talin B'Sheva, and they were rooted in the Sheva de Gugolta, V'Sheva Tikkunim Gugolta, Tachtoinim shall Zer Anpin. And now we move over to Zer Anpin. Taluya mekoich shiva tikunim, they're all rooted in the 7 tikunim of Gugolta b'chayonim shal erik anpin. Ki or ha-chesed the reish the lo isyada, amislaba b'Gugolta mispashet b'sheva tikunim Gugolta, nimshach ayedech of erik anpin, so through erik anpin, and I guess through his beard of erik anpin, or from one of the tikunim that has to do with the hair that comes around the back, al yedei erik anpin lamata, Morish also the Zer Anpin, and as a result of that, it gives it over to Zer Anpin, which is down below. Are we out of time? No. Just a common interruption. Okay, I got you back. All right, so we finished to Peiches. So we're looking at Peiches now. Peiches says, Rei B'Shar Mamari Rashbi, and that was on the phrase, what was the phrase? He says, V'morisho sol Zer Anpin. So now we're going to look at Zer Anpin. So this is the language of the Mamari Rashbi, Hare Sheva de Gugolta, Heim Keneged Sheva Tevas Shebereshis, Sifra D'tzniuta, we have it over here. So what are we talking about? Kuchul desata, battalion mesheva de Gugolta. So whatever we see down below is also rooted in what's up above, Adkan. That's what we're talking about. And they hang down the battalion b'sheva de Gugolta, they're Rikanpin, and they're rooted there. Achsin Lashon inherited. Ki me'elu Sheva de Gugolta de Rikanpin are rooted Sheva de Gugolta de Zeranpin, the Nukfe, and not only Zeranpin but also the Nuk. V'horish Erik Anpin lechem shevet tikuni elu. So therefore, becomes he gives over from what he has to Zer Anpin. Now we've seen this in a billion different ways, a bunch of different ways, but now we're focusing on the Gugalta Ein Sham. V'rei od b'hamrach haba. So now we're going to see this as it's coming up. So he says v'rei mashin is bar le'el da da. V'inyan tikuni de reisha benukva. Ray Gam Bashar Mamari Rashbi, there's something over there here too. Let's drop down where it says V'ikra Hapirish Khan, the Kuhul Sata, that everything that's down below, Hained Dekunda de Gugolta de Zer Anpin, Kain Bir Gamba or Yakar Khan. He says Virusha Harisha Lefi Darko Sham. So this sounds like Ovi. You know, whatever you have in the first one, you have in the second one. But he's not really getting into, at this point, how it is that the pattern, the path by which the 7 up above, Ron and 7 below, he wants to compare it like an ovi. V'ayin b'bir agroa, what's a groa say? He said, the bar of Asham, yesh devara v'kan, the ikra ha'pasuk, iri rak b'zayin tekuni kugolta, the zer anpin, it really wants to talk only about that. Kahalo Erik Anpin, Lo Niska b'Torah. So we know that the concept of the Erik Anpin is not mentioned in the Torah. Al Taliyasam shall tikuni gugolta the Zer Anpin, but what he wants to say is about the root. The root of the tikunim of the gugolta the Zer Anpin, hul the malach betuni gugolta the Erik Anpin. Ein Sham. In Kain, Achein Hagro Atzman bevar kuhul the Sater ba'ofen acher. So I guess he goes on a different thing. I'm not sure exactly what. So now let's look at Peches. Peches, after that, it says, Memeir b'shevet tikuni kugalta shal rosh zer anpen. So this is a little bit of a richos. We'll do the best we can. We'll get down maybe to the next little shetach. So he says, Rei be'etz chaim, v'zel l'shono, ba'in yikamoshi yizbar be'erik anpen, achar shenesakin called parts of a nesakin rosho yoser be'ilui. So as the parts of Erik Anpin is Mesukan, then we see that the highest level of this is going to be his Rosh. Besod zayin dekunde de Gugolshin is lavshe bechem, v'hi'ira bechem zayin tachtoine de atik. So we understand that in all of them different aspects, it's interesting because you have these two things. You have one is that everything is included in the Keser, but at the same time, each one of the 7 Tikunim has a relationship with atik. Kain bezer anpin. So the same thing with zer anpin. Achra tikun sark shiyusukun zayin tikundi gugolta bebechidas atik. So then you have to, after the tikun, you have to make the tikun of the tiny tikundi of atik. V'noideki ein atim is pachet ela behis lavish Erik Anpin. So we understand this is the process. He says that the whole thing all depends on where it's rooted, which is in the zayin tachtonim of atik. But Atik can't reach Zer Anpin. He can only reach Zer Anpin by his lavshus Erik Anpin. V'nimsa ki zayin tikundi de gugolta de Erik Anpin, asher b'soch b'zayin tachtoine de Atik, which has within it the zayin tachtoine, the zat of Atik, ye'ira b'soch zayin de gugolta de Zer Anpin, and this is, I guess he's saying, this is your pattern. But it's not like you could go from Atik without Erik Anpin. The Yushlam Bazan the called to their Anpin Gam came, so then that winds up also being Mushlam. Amnam e Esher Shirobechem Atzman, it's impossible that they themselves Amnam ki Esher Sheyihu Hem Atzman, Kihare Ein Zer Anpin, Malvish to Erik Anpin, Rak Bitibur Lamata. So I'm not sure what he meant there. In other words, it can't be that you have a direct transfer from the Zion of the Gugolta to Zer Anpin, because Zer Anpin is at the Tibor. Aka inyan ki ma'osa or ha'onir shebazan de Gugolta de Erik Anpin b'zayin tachton de atik yishtal shel la'or mebedrega de bedrega ad shikansuch ba'or v'yarir bo b'Gugolta de Zer Anpin, and has to go through levels ad kan. I think do you have time to finish this one?
I'm afraid not. Okay, we'll hold here.
Okay, thank you very much for learning with me today, and have a wonderful Shabbos. All regards to the family. Kol Tuv.